Hey, what is going on guys, it's Tharshey and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we have another battle analysis video for you guys, this time between two damage commanders. So hope you guys do enjoy the video, and if you do, please do drop a like, comment and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on those post notifications. Anyway, let's get straight into it. Okay guys, so as you can see we have Maestro from Kiseg against Melee from Star, and it's Arnor and Linden, and Maestro is once again back with his Aragorn II King of Men, and Melee is running their Aragorn II. So it's going to be pretty fun to watch this battle, especially since it's Aragorn against Aragorn, though, you know, it's his kingly form against his Dunedain ranger form. Anyway, we're going to have a look at the commander gear, then the skills, and finally the unit skills before we go and look at a round by round analysis of the actual report. So let's first have a look at Maestro's Aragorn II King of Men. And first, as you can see, his gear has actually changed since the last time we saw it. So obviously he does have his maxed out Enduro with 51 might, 6 HP for men, and kingly inspiration, and he does have men in the army, so you know that's going to be pretty great. The army HP will affect the men, kingly inspiration will affect his tower guards. Next up, he has a fully strengthened and fully refined quilted armor, which gives plus 30 might, plus 12 focus, and plus 18 speed. Focus protection, all allies focus damage received minus 60%. Once again, not fighting a focus commander, so that focus protection won't come into play this battle, though obviously it would be helpful if he's fighting against, for example, a gil-galad with keepers or something like that. Next, he has changed his helmet, so now we have his case of the Submerged Isle. It's fully strengthened and 2-star refined. This gives him plus 30 might, plus 30 focus, plus 12 speed, and the skill is Last Resort. Last Resort, round 6 onwards, allied commander, damage dealt plus 15%. And the reason why this skill is so great is because it just pairs so well with the rest of King Aragorn, especially since he has that one skill that gives him plus 70% damage after round 5 or 7 or whatever it is, and then he has the other skill which gives him a 50% chance of increasing his damage dealt by 50%. So Last Resort is going to merge very nicely with the rest of his skills. Finally, he has his Endrod Calabash, which gives plus 30 might, plus 6 army HP, Bane of Giants against large unit damage dealt plus 9%. Obviously not the greatest skill. I think it would be better if he had the skill that gave might, speed and focus, but yeah, anyway, pretty great gear. Everything is fully strengthened. One piece is fully refined. The 2 gold items both have 2-star refining. Next, we're going to have a look at the skills. So he's got Anduril maxed out, which is against 2 enemy targets deals 300% physical damage. Max level effect, might plus 15. So that's going to be some nice damage plus some extra might. Next up, he has Weapons Expertise. This is the skill that gives you a 50% chance of gaining damage plus 50%. So that is a great skill to have. Finally, he's got 1 point in Call of the Week, which is against enemy target with the lowest defense, deals 30% physical damage. He has 14 out of 15 in Strider, which is base stats from equipment plus 28%. The max level effect is Aragorn II ignores the race restrictions of all equipment, which means he would be able to use any piece of equipment if it was maxed out, though I don't think he needs that considering the great gear he already has. Following that up, we have Precise Blow against 1 enemy unit, deals 280% physical damage once. This damage carries the pursuit effect. Finally, we have Raid, which obviously has Rush, which means it will activate on round 1. And then against 1 enemy unit, deals 240% physical damage and has a 50% chance to reactivate. Finally, we have King of Men. And this is first 5 rounds. Men, when affected by stun or madness, damage received minus 90%. Max level effect, the buff persists for the entire battle, which means if at any time they're stunned or they're affected by madness, they receive 90% less damage. So that's great, especially going up against Greenmars or stun heavy commanders. Finally, we have Return of the King, round 5 onwards, Aragorn II, damage plus 70%. And as I said, this is going to merge very well with Last Resort, because from round 5 he's going to have 70% extra damage, and now from round 6 he's going to have 85% extra damage. So that is really great. But now we're going to have a look at the units he is using. So he has 100 Guardians of the Tower, which is just 1 command of them, and all these skills are at level 1 out of 10 except for shield training, which is self damage received plus 20%, all allies damage received minus 20%. And the reason he only has 1 command of that is because, as I mentioned in my previous video, that skill persists the entire battle. So he has 100 Guardians, but once they die, even though they're dead, the guards at the tower are still going to receive 20% less damage thanks to shield training. That is the reason why you'd have that. Some people can even run, for example, 100 Guardians. They can run 100 Guards of the Tower. Both of them can have the exact same skill, and a third unit could be, for example, a stack of Cataphracts or something. Especially on a Galadriel. That will give the Cataphracts minus 40% damage received, even once both the Guards of the Tower and the Guardians are dead. So even if you only have one command of each and they both die off, your Cataphracts are still sitting there with 40% less damage received, which is a really great thing. Well, for you obviously, not so much for your enemy. So, yeah. Sorry about that, guys. My throat was just killing me a bit. But yeah, so that is what he's running over there. He's Guards of the Tower, obviously. Maxed out anti-cavalry training, not going to help in this battle. He has shielding, which is a 50% chance for physical damage received minus 20%, and he has divide and conquer, which each round damage received minus 6% can stack up to 5 times. Now we're going to look at Melee's Aragorn II. So in terms of gear, they have a fully strengthened and fully refined Axe of Khazad-dûm. This is going to give might plus 63. And the effect or the skill it has is Cleave, which is a perfect effect for the commander and for this axe. And that is commander normal attacks have a 50% chance of dealing an additional 240% physical damage. So that is a really great skill. Aragorn II is a damage commander, obviously, and having the skill on him is just going to allow him to output that much more damage. Next, he has a maxed out Durance Blade, which is going to give you 42 might, plus 3 HP to dwarves, and plus 3 attack to dwarves. He has the dominant skill, which is Commander Might plus 15 because it's only strengthened 2 times. If it was strengthened fully, it would obviously give a whole lot extra might, which means in total this Durance Blade currently, instead of just giving 42, it actually gives you 57 extra might. Finally, for the helmet, he has a full helm. It's fully strengthened and fully refined. This gives him plus 45 extra might, and it has Inspire. Every 2 rounds, 1 allied unit damage plus 30% for 1 round. Okay, I mean, Guards of the Tower are not really there to deal that much damage, but okay, it's not a terrible effect, and it's gonna help his army obviously deal some more damage, and you know, every bit of damage does help. Finally, he has a fully strengthened unique. So he's got the Even Star unique accessory for Aragorn II. It is fully strengthened, and this is actually my first time seeing it. So it gives the commander might plus 27. It gives you plus 39 focus. Why does it give you so much of focus? I'm pretty sure focus doesn't really help any of the skills besides just the normal damage reduction that focus does. And he has the Undomial skill, and this is each round all allies recover 5% HP. Allied men with the highest defense absorb normal attacks directed at elves. Ooh, that is actually a really nice effect. Like what you could do with that is it's just like Gimli having protect elves, where you can stack a bunch of Guardians, and then if you're playing Lothlorien like I am, you just put a whole bunch of Marsh Wardens behind them. The Marsh Wardens are not going to take any damage until all the Guardians are dead, and in the meantime they're just going to output damage after damage after damage after damage, you know? So he could actually, you know, stack a whole bunch of Guards of the Tower, for example, and then put a bunch of Sentinels, which is the Elvis bows. You know, they're going to sit there and they're going to get a whole lot of damage out on your enemy, and they're not going to take any damage until all your Guards of the Tower are dead. So that is a pretty great skill to have, though he's unfortunately not making use of it. The first part of the skill is going to be applied, which is recover 5% HP, but besides that, the rest of the skill is not going to come into effect this battle. Anyway, let's have a look at his talents next. So he has Anduril, which is the exact same skill that Aragorn II King of Men has, and that deals 300% physical damage and gives you plus 15 might. Then he has Cull the Weak maxed out. That is going to be against enemy target with the lowest defense, deals 210% physical damage. Finally, he has Weapons Expertise, 50% chance of gaining damage plus 50%. Now he has Strider, base stats from equipment plus 30%. Aragorn II ignores the race restrictions of all equipment. Normally, most people end up putting 14 points into Strider only. That one extra point they put somewhere else because they don't really need the max level effect. I'm not sure if any of these are only limited to... Let's see. Nope, this can be used on men. I'm just checking to see if all these pieces can be used on men. Full helm, definitely on men as well. Yep. And obviously the unique is going to be used on him. So yeah, there's no point really putting that one extra point into Strider unless you really wanted that extra 2% base stats from equipment. Though I feel it would be better to put that into Hidden Hair, you know, that affects all your other skills. So 15 points into Strider over there. Next he has Raid, obviously Rush, Activates first round against one enemy unit, deals 240% physical damage once, with a 50% chance to reactivate. Next, he has Precise Blow, and I'm basically reading through the exact same skill set here at this point because they both have the same skills up until a certain point. So Precise Blow, one enemy unit deals 280% physical damage. That damage carries the pursuit effect. Now this is where their skills diverge from one another. So Aragorn 2 has Hidden Hair, Aragorn skill damage plus 16%, and he gains initiative during combat, which means he's going to act first every round. And the reason why I said you should rather have taken your 1 extra point from Stride and put it into Hidden Hair is because this increases your skill damage, which is your everything, literally. It's going to affect Cull the Weak, it's going to affect Weapon Expertise, it's going to affect Raid, Precise Blow, and Dural. It's going to affect everything. So having 2% extra damage there is definitely a lot better than having 2% better stats from your equipment. And finally, he has Nobility, Men damage dealt plus 6%. Yeah, okay, so this, I don't know why he's, I mean, sure, it gives your Guards of the Tower 6% more damage, but you're running a damage commander with over 500 might. So you kind of want to just focus on just the commander damage. Don't waste 2 points in here upping your men damage and 1 extra point over here for 2% more from your equipment stats. Rather take those 3 points, put them into Hidden Hair, and that's going to give you 15 out of 15 on Hidden Hair and max it out. Like a maxed out Hidden Hair is going to be much better than 1 point there, 2 points there. And that would also give you 20 more speed. So yeah, in terms of his units, they have Guards of the Tower, maxed out anti-cav, which ain't gonna help, shielding, which is the same as before, and they also have Divide and Conquer. Each round damage received minus 6%, can stack 5 times. The only difference in units from the two of them is that Maestro does have the Guardians over there, and that's going to give his Guards of the Tower 20% less damage received. Anyway, let's have a look at the report overview next. So if we have a look over here, we can see Maestro's Aragorn II King of Men did 260,000 commander damage basically. His soldiers did 42,000 damage and he took 220,000 damage. Aragorn II from melee did 166,000 damage and his soldiers did 52,000 damage and he received 301,000 damage. He also healed 1,500 damage. So if we have a look at Allied, we can see that, yeah, so the Guards of the Tower did about 42.5k, Guardians did 247 damage, but the Guardians did absorb nearly 5,000 damage, so that's pretty cool. Melee's Guards of the Tower did 52k damage, so I mean, you put all that points in, you got an extra 10,000 damage, not really that worth it, and they took over 300,000 damage. Anyway, let's have a look at the round by round analysis of this report now. So we're going to skip the preparation and the pre-battle phase because obviously we've already gone through all the skills and stuff that are going to be coming into play this battle, so we're going to skip that and go straight to round 1. So round 1, Guards of the Tower, Divide and Conquer activates, okay. Guard of the Tower triggers Aragorn II's Endormial effect, okay, that's dissipated, okay, so that's just some effects activating. And now Aragorn II is going to attack first. Speed doesn't really matter because he's got initiative from Hidden Hair, so he will be attacking first every round. So Aragorn II activates Raid. Guards of the Tower get shielding from their skill, and Aragorn II's Raid causes about 6,000 damage and they lose 110 units. Next we have Aragorn II's weapon expertise did not affect him, okay. Did not affect Guards of the Tower shielding, did not affect Aragorn II's Raid, caused 10,000 damage to Guards of the Tower. So when that 20% damage reduction from their Guards of the Tower skill actually affected them, they only took 6,000, and when it didn't affect them, they took about 9,500 damage. Next, Aragorn II activates Inspire. Guards of the Tower damage dealt plus 30%. Okay, not really gonna do that much, but sure. Aragorn II attacks. Weapon expertise gives him plus 50% damage dealt. Guards of the Tower shielding did not affect them. Guards of the Tower received 7,300 damage. Next, Aragorn II launches Cleave. Okay, so that's his Axe of Khazad-dûm's effect that's activating over here. Weapons expertise did not affect them. Guards of the Tower did not get shielding either. And Cleave's physical damage did not affect Guards of the Tower. Okay, so they avoided that 240% physical damage. Finally, Aragorn II, King of Men, gets his time to shine. He activates Raid. Guards of the Tower also get a 20% damage reduction, and Raid causes about 5,500 damage, making them lose 150 units. Next we have Aragorn II King of Men's Kingly Inspiration. Did not affect Aragorn II King of Men. Okay, weapons expertise does affect him, however, so that gives him 50% more damage. Gods of the Tower shielding did not come into effect. Raid's physical damage did not affect God of the Tower. Okay, Aragorn II King of Men attacks. Aragorn II King of Men weapons expertise continues to affect him. Okay, Gods of the Tower gain shielding. Gods of the Tower take 6,000 damage. Aragorn II's Kingly Inspiration did not affect him again. Finally, Gods of the Tower attack. I know this is kind of confusing. I'm just saying Gods of the Tower each time, and both armies have Gods of the Tower. So I'm going to try to say Maestro and Melee's Gods of the Tower. So Maestro's Gods of the Tower attack. Melee's take 6,000. Melee's Gods of the Tower attack. Maestro's take 14,000 damage. Finally, the Guardians attack and deal 160% physical damage, and they launch Laceration. That doesn't really matter. Next up, we have round 2. So, just before we get into round 2 though, there was one thing I just wanted to check. Because we have, let's see, what was it? We have Raid that activates, okay. Cleave, cool. Inspire, okay, that just gave him more damage. Endormiel didn't really do anything. Okay, I think I'm just worrying myself over nothing over there. Yeah, okay. Oh wait, actually yes, there was one thing I wanted to check. Okay, yeah, that gives 6 HP. And this gives 6. Okay, so I was just wanting to, because I'm looking at the amount of troops that died, and I'm just wondering why, less troops died, and I realize now that Aragorn II, so Maestro's Aragorn II King of Men, with his gear gives 12 more HP to his troops. So that's like what, maybe 100,000 more damage that they can absorb. This one, nope, because the Durin's Blade, which gives HP and attack, affects dwarves only. He doesn't have dwarves, so that's a wasted effect over there. And this gives his men and elves plus 3 attacks, so that gives Gods of the Tower slightly more attack. But yeah, okay, so Maestro's Gods of the Tower do have 12 HP more than Melee's Gods of the Tower. So let's go back to round 2 where we were and continue the report from there. So round 2 begins, okay, effects activate, basically just divide and conquer activating. Aragorn II activates Cull the Weak, okay, Gods of the Tower, Maestro's Gods of the Tower gain shielding, and Cull the Weak does 4,000 damage to them and they lose 80 units. Aragorn II activates Precise Blow. Precise Blow deals 10,000 damage. Maestro's Gods of the Tower did not get affected by their shielding, but they do lose 180 units there. Aragorn II does his normal attack. Weapons expertise did not affect him. Gods of the Tower did not get shielding either, and that does 2,500 damage to them. Aragorn II launches Cleave. Cleave gets the weapons expertise bonus. Gods of the Tower gain the shielding bonus, and that does 10,500 damage to Maestro's Gods of the Tower, making them lose 200 units. Aragorn II King of Men activates Precise Blow. Aragorn II King of Men will grant Pursuit. Granted Pursuit attacks in Pursuit. Weapons expertise affects them. Gods of the Tower shielding continues to affect Melee's Gods of the Tower. Aragorn II King of Men Precise Blow causes 14,000 damage. Gods of the Tower lose over 340 units. Kingly Inspiration is finally triggered. That gives Guardians plus 1% damage dealt and Gods of the Tower plus 1% damage dealt. Aragorn II King of Men activates Cull the Weak. That is going to be affected by weapons expertise, yes. Melee's Gods of the Tower did not get shielding. Aragorn II Cull the Weak does 1,800 damage. Remember, there's only 1 point in there, so that's fine. Kingly Inspiration did not activate. Now Aragorn II does his normal attack. Weapons expertise affects him. Gods of the Tower gain shielding, and they take 5,500 damage and lose 140 units. Kingly Inspiration is activated. Both the Guardians and Gods of the Tower gain plus 2% damage dealt. Gods of the Tower attack. Melee's Gods of the Tower do not gain shielding. Melee's Gods of the Tower take 7,500 damage. And yeah, Melee's Gods of the Tower attack, and they only do 4,500 damage, though Maestro's Gods of the Tower do gain shielding over there. Guardians attack, now we're just going to ignore that. Doesn't actually have enough to do anything there. Next, we're on to round 3. And so far, if we're having a look at the battle, Melee's Aragorn II is absolutely, is definitely doing a lot more damage, I think, than Maestro's. But that's because Aragorn King of Men he does very well in the later rounds, like round 6 or round, well, technically it's round 5 and above, but Maestros will do even better at round 6 because of that skill that he has, Last Resort. So yeah, let's see how the battle changes once we get over to the later rounds. Anyway, round 3, Aragorn activates Anduril. That does 4,600 damage plus another 4,200 damage. So Guardians took 4,600 damage there. That was probably way overkill, but you know, whatever. So Anduril does that, and it does 4,200 damage to Maestro's Guards of the Tower. And that makes them lose 82 units. Guardians are knocked out the fight. Aragorn II activates Inspire. Okay, Aragorn II gains Weapons Expertise. Maestro's Guards of the Tower take nearly 6,000 damage and lose 113 units. Aragorn II launches Cleave. Weapons Expertise did not affect him. Guards of the Tower do not get shielding. Aragorn II's Cleave does 4,000 damage, making the Guards of the Tower lose 80 units. Next, Aragorn II, King of Men, activates Anduril. His Anduril does 8,000 damage to Melee's Guards of the Tower. Kingly Inspiration does not activate. Did Weapons Expertise? No, Weapons Expertise did not activate on that Anduril activation. Anduril doesn't do 2 rounds of damage though, because it chooses different targets and there's only one target here, so it's only gonna hit once. Next, Aragorn II, King of Men, gets Weapons Expertise. That's 50% bonus damage. Melee's Guards of the Tower do not gain shielding. Guards of the Tower take 6,300 damage and lose 160 units. Aragorn II, King of Men, Kingly Inspiration does not activate. Maestro's Guards of the Tower attack. Melee's gain shielding, and they take 4,500 damage and lose 113 units. Then we have Melee's Guards of the Tower attacking. Maestros don't get shielding, and they do 10,000 damage, making him lose 187 units. Next, we're on to round 4. So, round 4, okay, we're gonna just skip that beginning part because you guys can see it's just Divide and Conquer activating each time. Anyway, Aragorn II activates Cull the Weak. Weapons Expertise activates. Shielding does not. Cull the Weak does 12,000 damage. That's 225 units lost. Raid is activated next. Weapons Expertise does not affect Aragorn II. Guards of the Tower do not get shielding. Raid causes 5,500 damage, making the Guards of the Tower lose 106 units. Weapons Expertise still does not affect Aragorn II. Maestro's Guards of the Tower do get 20% physical damage received less. Aragorn II's Raid causes 2,500 damage this time to Guards of the Tower. Aragorn II activates his Precise Blow. Pursuit, yeah, whatever. He does not get Weapons Expertise though. Guards of the Tower do get shielding, and that only does 3,000 damage to them, and they lose 50 units. Finally, we have okay, what was that? Weapons Expertise. Oh, Aragorn II's normal attack does 800 damage. Okay. Cleave does activate. That does get Weapons Expertise bonus. Shielding continues to affect Maestro's Guards of the Tower. Cleave does 7,700 damage, making them lose 150 units. Next, we have Maestro's Aragorn II, King of Men, finally activating. He activates Precise Blow. He does not get Weapons Expertise. Okay. Guards of the Tower from Melee do get shielding. Precise Blow does 3,000 damage, then they lose 80 units. Kingly Inspiration activates, that's plus 3% damage to Guards of the Tower. Aragorn II activates Raid. Okay. Raid does 5,500 damage, well, 5,000 damage nearly, and they lose 130 units. Kingly Inspiration activates again. Aragorn II gains Weapons Expertise, and Aragorn II activates Cull the Weak, and Weapons Expertise continues to affect them. Cull the Weak does 1,500 damage, making them lose 36 units. Okay, Aragorn II attacks. He still gets Weapons Expertise, so he still has the bonus damage. And he does 5,500 physical damage, and Melee loses 140 units. Kingly Inspiration activates. His Guards of the Tower now have plus 5% damage dealt. They deal 6,000 damage in their hit. Melees deal 2,000 damage, 3,000 damage in their hit. Now we have round 5, and this is where I think things will get very interesting, because this is when Return of the King activates, if I'm not mistaken. So let's have a look-see at this. Okay, Aragorn II activates Inspire. Obviously more damage dealt, Guards of the Tower, okay. Aragorn II attacks, he gets Weapons Expertise. That's 4,500 damage done to Maestro. Maestro loses 80 units. Melee launches Cleave. Weapons expertise continues to affect. Maestro gains shielding. And yep, Aragorn 2, okay. Aragorn 2 King of Men gives Aragorn 2 King of Men plus 70% damage dealt. So this is going to be some, how do I put it, hot and spicy attacks now, because remember, he's going to get 70% damage dealt, right? Plus 50% from weapons expertise if it activates. That's 120% damage. And then if Last Resort and then once Last Resort comes into play from the next round, that's going to be 135% bonus damage. So that's very nice to have, obviously. Anyway, Return of the King activates, plus 70% damage dealt. Aragorn 2 King of Men attacks. Weapons expertise do not affect him. Melee does gain shielding, so they only take 5,000 damage and lose 130 units. King Inspiration doesn't affect them. Maestro's Gods of the Tower attack and do 3,000 damage. Melee's Gods of the Tower attack and do 8,300 damage. Okay, that is quite a lot of damage. I mean, yeah, it's good damage. Anyway, next we have round 6. So round 6, Aragorn King of Men's Last Resort gives Aragorn King of Men plus 15% damage dealt. So at this point we have a flat 85% bonus damage plus the 50% that can come into play if it succeeds in activating. So let's see how this changes things, because so far Aragorn 2, Melee's Aragorn 2 I think has been doing more of the damage. So let's see. Aragorn 2 activates, okay, Endural, weapons expertise do not affect them, Gods of the Tower gain shielding, Endural causes 1,800 damage only, okay. Endural activates, not Endural, what am I saying? Aragorn 2 activates Call the Weak. Aragorn 2 gains weapons expertise. Maestro's Gods in the Tower do not, they do get shielding. And Call the Weak does 8,000 damage nearly to Gods of the Tower. They lose 150 men. Aragorn 2 activates Precise Blow. Precise Blow is affected. Yep, it gets weapons expertise, and that's 14,000 damage dealt. That's 262 units lost. Okay, let's continue. Aragorn attacks. Gods of the Tower get shielding, and Maestro suffers 3,000 damage there and lose 60 units. Aragorn 2 does launch Cleave. Cleave, will it actually affect? Nope, I don't think Cleave is actually... I don't think Cleave's physical damage has actually come into effect yet. It's just failed at activating every time. Anyway, Aragorn 2 gains Return of the King. Obviously, continues to affect it. Aragorn 2 activates Endural. Okay. So this is... Okay, so now this is Aragorn 2 King of Men's Endural with Return of the King affecting it, but without weapons expertise affecting it yet. And that does 18,000 damage. Holy crap, that's a lot of damage. So that's 18,000 damage, and Melee's Gods of the Tower lose over 400 units. So that's nearly 450 units lost over there. That triggers Kingly Inspiration. Okay, we know what that does. That's more damage. Aragorn 2 King of Men activates Precise Blow. Okay, he gets Pursuit. He gets Weapons Expertise this time, so that's plus. So, okay, at this point now, this Precise Blow gains the 70% from Return of the King, 50% from Weapons Expertise, and 15% from Last Resort. Gods of the Tower do gain shielding, so that's minus 20%. And Aragorn 2 Precise Blow causes 20,000 damage, and that makes them lose 515 units. As you can see now, Aragorn 2 King of Men is coming into his own at this point. Like the Dunedain Aragorn, or just Aragorn 2, he had the early rounds, he was leading over there, but now Aragorn 2 King of Men is making a comeback, and it's such a comeback it is. Anyway, Aragorn 2 activates Call the Weak. Okay, weapons expertise do not affect them, Gods of the Tower do not gauge shielding, it does 1,500 damage. Aragorn 2 attacks, he gets weapons expertise damage, obviously he has his Return of the King and Last Resort damage there, and that's 10,000 damage done, 250 units lost. Kingly Inspiration activates, okay. Gods of the Tower deal 3,000 damage from Maestro, and Melee's Gods of the Tower do 4,000 damage. Next we have round 7 that comes into play now, and Aragorn 2 activates Raid. He does not get weapons expertise. Gods of the Tower get shielding, that's 1,300 damage. Gods of the Tower, shielding continues to affect them. Raid does another 1,274 damage because it reactivated. Aragorn 2 does Inspire, so that's for the Gods of the Tower damage dealt. Aragorn 2 attacks. Weapons expertise do not affect him. Gods of the Tower do not get shielding. 800 physical damage, okay, basically nothing. Aragorn 2 launches Cleave. Cleave does get weapons expertise bonus. Gods of the Tower get shielding. And Cleave, okay, again, I mean, I feel like Cleave should have activated at least once or twice at this point, but nope. Cleave still does not affect Guards of the Tower. 50% chance, and there's 4 fails now that I've seen in a row. Anyway, Aragorn II gets Return of the King's damage, activates Raid. Weapons expertise did not affect him, okay? So that's fine. Raid still does cause 14,000 damage and makes Aragorn II lose 350 units. And as we can see now, like while the early rounds were dominated by Melee's Aragorn II, Maestro's Aragorn, King of Men, is just whittling away at these numbers now with these 14,000, 20,000 damage hits. Anyway, Kingly Inspiration activates 8% more damage. Okay, weapons expertise did not affect Aragorn II. Aragorn II's raid causes 12,000 damage and Melee loses 300 units. Kingly Inspiration does not activate. Aragorn does his normal attack, weapons expertise affects him, and that's 8,500 damage with 200 units lost from Melee's side. Kingly Inspiration activates 9% bonus damage. Maestro's Guards of the Tower attack and deal 3,000 damage. Melee's Guards of the Tower attack and deal 5,200 damage. But even though, like look at this, even though Melee's Guards of the Tower basically did about double damage than Maestro's, Maestro only lost 100 units and Melee lost 71 units, and that's because of that 12 extra HP from the gear. So you guys can see that HP actually coming into play now when you see like double the damage dealt, but there's only like 30 more units killed. Anyway, round 8. So let's see. Aragorn activates Call the Weak, okay? Call the Weak does 1,000 damage. Yeah, that's useless. Okay. So, Call the Weak does not get weapons expertise. Guardians gain shielding. 1,000 damage is dealt. 20 units are lost. Aragorn II activates Precise Blow. Weapons expertise did not affect Aragorn II again. He's getting kind of unlucky with that. Aragorn II's Precise Blow does 4,000 damage. And Guards of the Tower from Maestro lose 71 units. Aragorn II does his normal attack. Weapons expertise still doesn't affect him. He only does 500 damage. So literally nothing. Loses 10 units. He launches Cleave. Hey, Cleave actually activates, okay, but Cleave does not get weapons expertise, and it just does 1,000 damage only. Okay. Aragorn II activates Aragorn II King of Men activates his Precise Blow. He gets weapons expertise. Okay, so that's 50% damage. Precise Blow does 22,500 damage, and Melee loses 561 units. But both of these commanders are absolutely Omega level whales, like holy crap. Melee's Aragorn II is kitted out to the extreme though. Using Durin's plates without any dwarves, I mean, kind of a waste of that HP and attack, but you know, whatever. That, and I feel like Melee should have just maybe upped my skills a bit more, but anyway, we'll get into that a bit later. Let's continue. Okay, Aragorn II activates Call the Weak. Weapons expertise are not affected, but Call the Weak does 1,500 damage, and they lose 36 units. Okay, Kingly Inspiration activates. At this point, Maestro's Guards of the Tower are getting plus 11% damage from that. Aragorn II King of Men attacks. Weapons expertise affects him. That normal attack does 9,500 damage. Maestro's Guards of the Tower attack and deal nearly 5,000 damage. Melee's Guards of the Tower attack and do about 2,000 damage over there. Okay, round 9 begins. Aragorn II activates Andural. He gets weapons expertise this time, and that Andural causes nearly 9,000 damage, causing Maestro to lose about 170 units. Inspire activates next. Aragorn attacks, continues to get weapons expertise, and that's 3,000 more damage to Maestro's Guards of the Tower. Cleave activates. Cleave does not get weapons expertise. Cleave does not affect Guards of the Tower. Now Aragorn II King of Men, he activates his Andural. He does not get weapons expertise though, but he does do 14,000 damage, and Melee loses 350 units. Kingly Inspiration activates again, plus 13% damage. King of Men activates his normal attack. Weapons expertise continues to not affect him, unfortunately, and that is 5,500 damage dealt there. Aragorn activates Kingly Inspiration again. Guards of the Tower are now doing plus 14% damage. The Maestro's Guards of the Tower attack and deal about 3,500 damage. Melee's Guards of the Tower attack and do just over 2,200 damage. Round 10, we're in our final round now. Aragorn II activates Call the Weak. He gains weapons expertise. Guardians do not get shielding. Call the Weak causes 5,000 damage. Maestro loses 100 units. Aragorn II activates Raid. Weapons expertise does not affect Aragorn II. Raid does 2,000 damage. Aragorn II's weapon expertise gives plus 50% damage dealt. What is this for? For raid, okay. Raid's physical damage does not affect guards of the tower, so the reactivation did not come into play there. Aragorn activates Precise Blow. Okay. Precise Blow gains weapons expertise. That's nearly 7,000 damage dealt, 130 units lost. Okay. Aragorn 2 does their normal attack. They still get weapons expertise and they do 2,500 damage. Cleave activates, and Cleave does not affect guards of the tower. Aragorn 2 King of Men activates Precise Blow. He's granted pursuit. He does not get weapons expertise though, but he does still do 15,000 damage nearly and makes melee lose 400 guards of the tower. Aragorn does not, okay, King Inspiration doesn't activate. Aragorn 2 King of Men does activate Raid. He gains weapons expertise, so that's a bonus 50% damage. Melee's guards of the tower do get shielding, and Raid causes 15,500 damage, making them lose 400 units. There's only about 673 units left in Melee's army. So King Inspiration activates, guards of the tower have plus 15% damage dealt at this point. Let's see, Aragorn 2, weapons expertise continues to affect him, okay, great. Shielding does not affect Melee's guards of the tower, and Aragorn 2's raid causes 18,000 damage, making them lose 444 units. King Inspiration does not activate. Aragorn activates Call the Weak. Weapons expertise does not affect him. Shielding does not affect guards of the tower. Call the Weak does 1,500 damage, okay. Aragorn 2 King of Men activates his normal attack. He does not get weapons expertise, however. Guards of the tower do not get shielding. They suffer 6,200 damage and they lose 156 units. They only have 34 units left. Maestro's guards of the tower attack and wipe out those last 34 units. So, as you can see, really great battle. Aragorn 2 King of Men against Aragorn 2. Both are damage commanders. Both did really well. Aragorn 2 took the early rounds, and then once Aragorn 2 King of Men came into play, well, not King of Men, but Return of the King came into play, then yeah, the battle tilted towards Aragorn 2 King of Men. And so Return of the King and then Last Resort just piling on the damage on top of that. And yeah, so early rounds did go to Aragorn 2, later rounds came to Aragorn 2 King of Men, and at that time he just had enough to completely annihilate the rest of Melee's Aragorn. However, Melee's Aragorn 2 is an absolute beast. It's got over 500 might, and I hope I never have to face it because I am not going to be doing anything to it. If I hit this Aragorn, it's going to cut my army to pieces, cut my command to pieces, and then feed them to the dogs. So yeah, so if I have to say a few ways that Melee could improve her build, or his build, I'm not sure if it's a guy or girl. Take out 1 point from Strider, okay, no point having it there. Take out 1 point from there. These 2 points in Nobility, take them out. Take those 3 points and put them into Hidden Hair. Get that plus 20 speed and increase your skill damage that much more, okay? It's going to help you a lot more than the way you have it set out now. In terms of your gear, this Axe of Khazad-dûm, perfect, okay? Gives you a ton of might, has Cleave. Cleave did activate more would be great, but if it doesn't, whatever, that's fine. Durin's Plate is great. I mean, it has might and it has dominance, which gives you even more might. However, it's kind of a loss that you're losing out on 3 HP and 3 attack over there, you know, because you have no dwarves in your army. You could stack guardians, but then, I mean, either way, you kind of lose out on something. Maybe you swap this out for a different piece of gear. It's up to you, though. Full Helm, nothing wrong over there. Axe of Khazad-dûm, nothing wrong over there. Even Star, nothing wrong over here. Obviously, it's the unique for Aragorn 2. The effect, the first round of the effect obviously affects everybody. Second round, I feel could be used better. Like, just have an army of men and elves, okay? Like, you don't even need to have a lot. Just have like 1,000 sentinels or something. I promise they'll be doing a lot of damage, and that damage will add up. Well, I mean, I don't actually, yeah, it'll definitely do well, okay? I'm probably just rambling on a bit too much now. In terms of Maestro's Guards of the Tower, Maestro's King of Men, well, it just got better since last time. This helmet, the case of the Submerged Owl with the Last Resort on it, definitely came into play over here a lot, and is definitely a very good addition to this build. Anyway, if you guys did enjoy this video, then please do drop a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on those post notifications. If you guys want me to do more battle analysis videos like this, let me know down below in the comment section. If you guys have a replay or a report that you guys want me to go over and you guys want me to possibly feature on the channel, then let me know via Discord. You know, my Discord server link is in the video description and the pinned comment, or add me directly on Discord or in-game and send it to me that way. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video.